Guys, it's Graham here. So these are a few of the things that I wish I knew when I was a lot younger, in no particular order, because now that I'm in my early 30s, there's a lot of things that I look back on 10 years ago and I think to myself, welp, that was dumb. I guess I'm just trying to say that there are some universally common experiences that we all tend to go through that don't become obvious until you look back at them in the future with a fresh perspective. So for all of you watching, these are the lessons that I wish I learned when I was 20 years old, because I would have been a lot further ahead had I just understood a few of these sooner. First, don't wait for things to magically happen, because they won't. I think up until you turn 18 or begin working full-time, you're really conditioned to think that if you show up and you do a good job and you do what you're told, you're gonna be rewarded, it'll happen, just be patient. I gotta say, I was completely unprepared for the reality that no one really tells you what to do and no one expects anything from you. Like sure, a boss is probably gonna have their own guidance on the type of work they expect from you, but in the big picture, everything falls back on you to take the initiative if there's something you wanna work towards. Nothing ever happens without you relentlessly pursuing it, and it's a shame that school never prepares you to account for any of that. For instance, I'll never forget my first week as a real estate agent. I had no idea what I was doing, and any time that I wasn't shadowing another agent, I just stupidly sat at my desk, browsing the internet, waiting for something to happen or for someone to tell me what to do. For some reason, it took me a very long time to realize that from that moment on, it was up to me to make something happen, and if I didn't do it, no one else would. I really think it was such a small mindset shift, but I recognize that I have to push myself forward, otherwise I was just wasting time. The takeaway here is that it's up to you to decide what you want in life, and then it's up to you to work towards making that a reality. And if you don't know what you want, then that's not an excuse to do nothing. The way I see it, you only have one life, and if you're 25 years old, you have 612 months left to make the most of it, so the clock is ticking. The second, speaking of that, I wish I pushed myself outside of my comfort zone more often. Even now, I'm probably not that much better than I used to be, but looking back, there were so many great experiences that I turned down because I wanted to play it safe and stick with what I was familiar with. But just think to yourself, if you knew you weren't going to fail, how much more would you do? I think there were so many things that held me back because I was worried about failing or wasting time. I thought, why even try if there's a slim chance of it working out? Or even something as stupid as worried about being awkward going out to an event where I didn't know anybody. In fact, that was probably one of the most common opportunities that I turned down. I met a lot of real estate clients who would invite me out, but I would say no because I didn't want to show up alone. It sounds ridiculous now, and it wouldn't have mattered whatsoever, but I always think to myself, how many more opportunities would have presented themselves had I just said yes? What I've come to realize is that 10 years later, none of it mattered at all, and I should have just taken the chance, because even if it didn't work out, most likely I wouldn't be able to remember it anyway. I know it sounds kind of sad to think that way, but it really puts it into perspective just how insignificant a lot of those thoughts and worries are with time. And most likely, the thing you're avoiding or afraid of doing is probably going to be the thing that's going to help you out the most. The third, this one is new, and it's probably a bit off-brand, but I shouldn't have been so frugal to the point where I missed out on some really great experiences for the sake of saving money. Now this one unfortunately is a bit of a double-edged sword because on the one hand, I am here today because I took saving money to the extreme. Like I'd budget my day down to the dollar, I would cut back anywhere I could, and I would refuse to spend money unless it's something I absolutely had to spend money on. But that extreme attitude did end up giving me the money I needed to eventually buy real estate. That real estate eventually gave me the passive income I needed to pursue the projects that I was the most interested in, and 1,000%, I wouldn't be here without it. But everything is a trade-off, and the price of saving money came at the expense of foregoing otherwise great experiences that I probably really would have enjoyed. Realistically, I could have very easily gone out to dinner a little bit more often, I could have spent more on vacations, and it wouldn't have made a difference. Now, that's not to say that you should spend $2,000 on Coachella tickets because you're young, but I passed up on some great opportunities because I'd rather save $20, and that was really stupid and I shouldn't have done that. Now, of course, everything you do has a trade-off, and the opportunity cost of traveling throughout your 20s might come at the expense of financially catching up in your 30s. But saving everything at the expense of an otherwise beneficial experience could probably be avoided by taking a bit more of a balanced approach instead. Now, present day, I currently take the approach of just trying to minimize regret. I think to myself, am I going to look back 10 years from now and regret not doing something? If the answer is a yes, then I go for it, no questions asked. That's led to so many many great friendships, experiences, and memories to the point where I wish I began applying that mindset sooner. Now, the fourth thing I wish I knew was how to ask you to subscribe if you haven't done that already. Did you know that more than 50% of viewers leave that subscribe button unsmashed? Hi, my name is Graham Stephan. You might remember me from such classics as My $78 Tesla or How to Get a Perfect Credit Score for $0. But today, I'm here to share an important message that every 30 seconds, a viewer watches a video and leaves the like button or subscribe button unsmashed. Thankfully, though, you can help. For the low cost of nothing, you could help the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to a creator who promises he'll stop asking if you finally do it. Just give it a gentle tap and you'll be able to